Vanakkam and Namaskaram. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Kumaraguru College of Liberal Arts and Science, we extend a warm welcome to everyone for the inaugural session of the 3-day National Conclave on Future of Sports Science Education and Innovation and the 31st National Conference of Sports Psychology Association of India, organized by the Sports Psychology Association of India in collaboration with Kumaraguru College of Liberal Arts and Science. Kumaraguru College of Liberal Arts and Science, established in 2018, is an integral unit of Kumaraguru institutions which celebrates 40 years of educational excellence. The history of Kumaraguru has its roots in the vision sown by our revered founder, Arutchelva Dr. N. Mahalingam Ayya, and its ascent to national prominence is a remarkable story of collaboration and innovation, setting and exceeding ambitious goals and pushing frontiers across all disciplines that has driven on our success over the last 4 decades with 5 institutions in 3 campuses, impacting more than 8,000 enthusiastic learners every year in the domains of engineering, technology, management, agriculture, liberal arts, and science. Kumaraguru College of Liberal Arts and Science is a beacon of innovation and growth in the world of higher education with a unique class sandwich program which is extended to every student enrolled in the 3-year undergrad program. This program is designed with 3 layers: the class core, class liberal edge, and class edge plus, each tailored to maximize the academic and personal growth and providing the learners with a comprehensive and holistic education. School of Sports Science at KCLAS holds the distinction of being the pioneer in introducing sports science education in Coimbatore. As the inaugural institution in the region dedicated to the comprehensive study of sports science, KCLAS stands at the forefront of shaping the future of athletic performance, health promotion, and sports education. In this context, the prestigious 3-day National Conclave on Future of Sports Science Education and Innovation is set to explore new horizons and propel the field of sports science. Please visit us at class.ac.in for a comprehensive overview of our programs. With this note, we begin the proceedings of the conclave with the invocation. I invite Ms. Saubi Hayden and Ms. Asita Pondivya from Band Agrata to render the prayer song followed by Tamilthai Varthu. May I request the gathering to please rise.
Shri Gananath Sindhuravarna Karuna Sagara Karivadana Lambodara Lagumikara Ambasuta Amara Vinuta Lambodara Lagumikara Siddhacharana Ganasevita Siddhi Vinayaka Te Namo Namo Lambodara Lagumikara Ambasuta Amara Vinuta Lambodara Lagumikara நீராரும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கெழிலொழுகும் சீராரும் வதனமென திகழ்பரத கண்டமிது தெக்கனமும் அது சிறந்த திராவிடனர் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திரும்பியந்த செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்ததுமே வாழ்த்ததுமே
Thank you, students. A gracious and heartfelt welcome with warmth sets the stage for a memorable and successful gathering that shall be cherished forever. I invite our respected principal, Dr. Vigila Kennedy, to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning, and on behalf of Kumaraguru College of Liberal Arts and Science, I welcome you for this inaugural session of the 3-day National Conference on Future of Science, Education and Innovation, and also the launch of Kumaraguru School of Sports Science. I extend my heartfelt welcome to all the delegates, participants, and the guests. I'm sure that the 3 days is going to be a time of learning, reflection, and inspiration. I extend my heartfelt welcome to Sri Shankar Vanavarayar, President of Kumaraguru Institutions. Sir, your visionary leadership has been guiding Kumaraguru College of Liberal Arts and Science since its inception to grow in leaps and bounds while being grounded on what the industry needs and what the world needs. We are honored that you are here today with us for this inaugural session of the Conclave and also for the launch of the School of Sports Science. I welcome Sri Ravneet Gill, our esteemed chief guest of the day, a seasoned financial services professional with rich experience in leading large institutions and the illustrious founder of New Horizon Alliance Private Limited that seeks to use sports and esports education to build future leaders of Indian sport, create innovators and entrepreneurs. With your pioneering spirit and dedication to advancing sports education, you have inspired many young people and you have made an impact on the nation, building global alliances. We are privileged to have you here to share your insights on sports education and the future of sports itself as to how it will take its turns and how young people and educational institutions like us should be ready for the future. We are privileged to welcome Dr. David Rajan, a distinguished orthopedic surgeon and a pioneer in arthroscopy in India, and also the founder of Ortho One Hospital. He's not only a surgeon, but a well-known surgeon, but also a researcher, a faculty, and an educationist, because they are offering a fellowship in arthroscopy. Your active engagement with athletes and welfare of the athletes have made a difference in the nation, and I know that you are working with the top athletes in the country to ensure that their wellness is there so that ultimately the nation gets glory and we are able to celebrate the sporting achievements. We thank you for being here and we welcome you, and I'm sure that your guidance in sports and relating to the physical wellness will give us insights. A very warm welcome to our esteemed partner, the Sports Psychology Association of India, the representatives from the association, we welcome them. A warm welcome to our esteemed speakers who are here, who have graciously accepted our invitation to share their insights. We have, through the 3 days, we have 40 speakers from 7 different states who will contribute and who has contributed profoundly on sports industry. So we really welcome all the speakers from different parts of the country who have traveled and who are here to share the insights. We welcome all our other special invitees who are here today on this inaugural session and also for the 3 days conclave. We have, as participants, we have 51 professionals from sports sector today, joining us today, 27 faculty from sports colleges and schools, athletes student athletes who are from 17 colleges, 38 sports research scholars, 55 participants from sports associations, 47 members who are sports entrepreneurs or from academies. We warmly welcome you for this conclave. Your presence here today signifies the collective commitment to advancing the frontiers of sports, science education, and innovation. And I'm sure that you will enjoy these 3 days. And if you're here in the campus for the first time, a very special welcome. We also welcome the press who are here to cover this event. And we welcome all the other administrators, senior administrators of Kumaraguru institutions, KCT, KIA, Kumaraguru School of Business, and KCT Business School. We welcome you. Just to give an overview of the conclave includes 17 technical sessions that serves as a platform for leaders, researchers, practitioners, and also sports enthusiasts to come together to reflect and to gain new insights about the new frontiers of sports education. I'm also delighted on this significant day that Kumaraguru School of Sports Science is being launched, which will engage in research, education, training, and sports entrepreneurship. We are also happy that we are poised to introduce BSc Sports Science this academic year. And this will join with the other 10 undergraduate programs that we offer. And the students who are joining in this BSc Sports Science will join the larger cohort of 1,500 students that we have in the Kumaraguru College of Liberal Arts and Science. Adding this BSc Sports Science truly adds a flavor to the liberal arts education which we envision. And we believe that this sports science program will permeate across disciplines, and not only disciplines in Kumaraguru College of Liberal Arts and Science, but also in KCT, as well as in the campus and beyond. Once again, I extend my deepest gratitude to each one of you who are present here to participate in this momentous occasion. Thank you, and may our collective endeavors lead to remarkable breakthroughs and successes in the field of sports science in this region, the nation, and the world. Thank you and welcome again.
Thank you, ma'am, for extending a warm welcome and setting the context for the 3-day National Conclave on Sports Science. Kumaraguru epitomizes the essence of an innovative visionary, ceaselessly scanning the horizon for novel ideas, embracing fresh opportunities, and nurturing grand aspirations that transcend boundaries. Under the commendable leadership of our esteemed President, Sri Shankar Vanavarayar, we, the Kumaraguru fraternity, are on a collective journey towards progress on a global scale. Sir, may we invite you to deliver the presidential address.
Let me also join Dr. Vijala in welcoming all of you into this campus. It's always very special to have people from far and wide, people from very different backgrounds come into this ecosystem during what is also a very special week for us. This is a special week for us because we celebrate during this part of March our Founders Week. Yesterday was the 101st birth anniversary of our founder. Also the fact that Yugam, our biggest moment in the year when you see the energy of our youth being brought out, and about 10,000 participants will be going through various competitions, various activities in the next 2 days, today and tomorrow. I think it's a wonderful time that I want to welcome all of you who've come into campus. It's a very special morning for us. Dr. Vijala finished by saying our collective endeavors. It almost felt like a statement that she was calling out for a sort of ecosystem to get evolved out of this campus, and that's absolutely what we want to do. I'm delighted to be here in this launch event and the conference for multiple reasons. The first reason, this is what I think this country and many people, I can't count myself into it. I can only count myself as an ecosystem supporter or somebody who sits in the fringe of a sporting community, because the only thing I ever played was tennis for a few years, and I tried to be competitive, but once I went to competition, I knew where I stood. But at least I've been somebody who has watched this ecosystem in this society, in this country, for the last 4 decades. Everybody has kept talking about the fact that India has potential, should do, but we are in an era, we are in a decade when we can do, and looks like we will do it. And what will we do when we think about it is phenomenal. India today has the largest young people force in the planet. Never before, naturally, never before the planet has seen such a population, but never before 1 in 4 or 1 in 6 young people have come out of one country, one geography. This is enormous. This is the greatest demographic dividend, the power, sometimes maybe, sometimes a challenge, that any certain geography has had. With all this, there's this talk about the fact that we add to the world a segment or maybe country, 2 countries' population, 2 countries of Europe population into the workforce every year. We also, yesterday night, we were discussing how we are becoming a capital for many lifestyle complexities and issues. But on a morning, this is not a time to list the multiple challenges that we have, but the immense potential we have. This is a country which is young. This is a country that is connected. This is a country, when I say connected, digitally connected. This is a country which is absolutely aspiring, and no more has a third world country feeling in its mind. We are feeling truly as a developing nation. Far, far, far ahead lies the developed nation appeal. But in this ecosystem of transformation, India is aspiring different things. India is aspiring different things because now young people don't necessarily only look at parents for making choices. If that was there, we would have still launched a computer science program with 1 more flavor and 1 more wrapper to it. Or, of course, at least maybe an electronics program or something else like a commerce program. Here we are coming together as a group to talk about sports science. Sports as passion, sports as pastime. Very few people sports as profession. But here we are to talk at sports as profession. I truly feel the coming of age of this opportunity is here for multiple reasons. Sports in India today is no more, as I said, only about passion. It's about economic impact. It's about individual development. It's about community building. It's the soft power of presenting this country globally. Job creation. Yesterday, our chief guest was telling us that how many jobs in the formal, informal sector there are. Infrastructure development. I mean, you can't go any road, at least in Coimbatore I see it, I'm sure it's the same in most cities. You can't go in any road without seeing a turf lit at night, looking damn cool, and we thought, and somebody as young or old as me never thought I'll see it here so soon. Tourism, the kind of people traveling, and you know the IPL season's on, and everybody's asking, when are you traveling, which match are you going? And that's the conversation. Health and fitness. You go on Amazon, go to any store, you go to new product launches, you see the kind of things that are getting launched. The kind of media space that is getting picked up, that is building around sport. Youth development, and lastly but not least, the whole thing of technology around it, data, analytics, visualization, and so many other things, sensors and gadgets that are coming around it. This is truly a time when we are talking about a whole ecosystem and not the good old world of sport alone. With all this in mind, we thought in this campus it's very important to start imagining how we will do this. And we were not alone. Naturally, there are multiple people in this country. You hear IIT Madras, the top-ranked institution in the country, which is known for everything to do with technology, now talking sports big time. You're seeing multiple people, you're seeing Government of India talking about it. The Tamil Nadu government's taken phenomenal efforts in the last few years on what the sports ecosystem needs to be built. We never thought that a chess event or a hockey event will get highlights in all our news channels some time ago. I was there for the Hockey World Cup, and what a phenomenal show in Chennai it was. All this happening also means that education, formal ecosystems have to respond. And we thought it's high time we start thinking about it. We have multiple plans. Dr. Vijala spoke about some of them. Talking about this, it's extremely important to start thinking what the global conversation is, what the national conversation is, and bring it into campus. Bring in experts. I want to acknowledge the multiple partners that we have here today, the SPAI and ISCM and others who have partnered with us, the multiple other ecosystems in Coimbatore, Chennai, and South India who partnered with us. It's extremely important for us to learn, because we are a campus which is 40 years old. We are a campus that has done multiple things, over 30,000 alumni, but this is still something new to us. This is still something that we want to learn. We want to play an ecosystem builder role, and we want to see how we can make this into a phenomenal reality. When we have to do all this, we naturally need, as I said, partners. And when we need partners, we need thought leaders. When you think of thought leaders, you need to have people who can think, but also do. When you have to think and do, you need people who are not necessarily only talking about it from a thought leadership perspective, but who have taken a stance, who have taken a decision to do something. And in this scouting, I must acknowledge that a friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, Alok Sanghi, who now lives in Dubai, but originally from Ahmedabad, from a large industrial house, when I was chatting to him about this, he said, Shankar, the only guy you should talk to is Ravneet. And I had no clue at that time that I had met Ravneet some time ago. So I Googled instantly. I didn't know. We set up a call. And just before the call, I had an inkling of a doubt. So I called a common friend. And they said, of course you've met him. You've hung out. You were at a dinner together. Ravneet, thank you so much for being here. This is extremely important, and what I was trying to also set the context is somebody who is investment banker by career, who's a investor, corporate honcho, somebody who sits in boards of companies that most of us respect, has decided to say this is going to be his next step in life, to work in the sport and e-sport ecosystem, to build the sport education ecosystem, to sort of be part of this transformative exercise that is happening in this country is very, very important. First, I want to, on all your behalf, appreciate and congratulate you for taking that point in life where most people would think maybe this is not the smartest move. But some smart people know how to take those moves early on in life. One that gives you growth, but gives you great satisfaction, but also comes out with great impact. I want to appreciate, congratulate what you've taken as a person, as an institution, as an ecosystem, but also thank you for immediately agreeing to come. And sometimes we in Coimbatore, even though think of ourselves as a dynamic, enterprising place, we are not the Delhi and Bombay. And to have somebody who is in the highway of this conversation amongst us is very important. Once again, thank you and looking forward to your partnership. While I said we are not the Delhi and Bombay, I also must mention that Coimbatore is a place of excellence. Coimbatore is a place of perfection, is a place of performance, is a place that has stood out for various things. In the past, if you go around the world, Coimbatore and engineering, Coimbatore and education, but certainly nowadays, Coimbatore and healthcare. I remember about just post-COVID when I was taking a flight, I was feeling very sad for this young person who was sitting right next to me because he couldn't fold his leg, he couldn't do much, he was hurt, he was a sports person, and he was on a flight to Coimbatore, and I had no clue because there's nothing you can do, he's in excruciating pain. And I said, why are you on a flight and why are you coming to Coimbatore? He said, well, I had to get something done about this, and we did some research, and the only place I could go was Ortho 1. And that's when you think of institutions of Coimbatore, institutions built by individuals of what, you know, when we say global, we always think West. We always want reference points from somewhere else. We live in a generation where we have reference points in India. We have reference points in Coimbatore. This is the power of what the new India is. And to have Dr. David Rajan with us, a senior in the city, a person of excellence, a person who is an institution builder, as Dr. Vijala said, and somebody who immediately said he'll be happy to be here, but also asked us tough questions on why are you doing what you're doing, what will you do, what you want us to do, and what you should do. So for that, Dr. Rajan, thank you so much for being here with us. It's important to have your thought leadership and partnership with us is extremely important because, as I said, we are a new kid on the block trying to learn and build the ecosystem. I will sort of say that this is an earnest effort, but it is not necessarily an emotional effort. There is strategy behind this. If you look at all the numbers that I was trying to see this morning, it is mind-boggling on what is happening to the sports ecosystem. This is not a nice thing to do. This is the right thing to do. And actually, to be honest, this is a smart thing to do. This is, friends, maybe not the computer science of today, but it is certainly the amazing thing for tomorrow because of the fact that every other subject space finds itself here. As I said, everything to do with fitness, everything to do with technology, everything to do with commerce, everything to do with fashion, everything to do with media, everything to do with many things. Look at our phones, look at our news, how many things of sport captures our imagination, and this is just going to increase. Did we imagine that the Ambanis and the Jindals and others would have spoken sports so much 10, 20 years ago? We have an Indian board member in the Olympic Committee, and the first time an Indian leader has said that we will aspire to get the Olympics in the next decade. These are extraordinary movements, extraordinary happenings, and we hope to be part of that. We hope to be part of that sitting in one end of Coimbatore, one end of India in Coimbatore, to see how we too can be part of this ecosystem, how young people at 8th standard told by their parents don't have to take the choice to say, go towards something which is more popular, which will give you a salary and a job. This too will make that happen. That is the momentum that we want to create. We want to see be an option where young people can find themselves great careers and great opportunities in the future. But we will also work with society. We will work on research. We will work on startups that will come out of this ecosystem. These are all very important things. To Raj and Gopi, Raj is an alumni who's helping us build this ecosystem. Gopi has joined us as late as yesterday, but these are people who will build, and many more young people and experienced people will come part of this institution with this ecosystem and offer. We want to offer not only one program, we want to offer many parallel programs for school kids, for kids who study in other places, for people in fitness and sort of lifestyle, sport and other sectors who will come and learn multiple courses with us. This is the aspiration, and hopefully in the next 10 years, Coimbatore will be a thriving ecosystem, because we have all the basic advantages that will need to build this. Hopefully we will be part of that too, for which all your support, all your guidance, certainly the leaders on the dais will help us do this. Once again, it's a wonderful morning. I just think we are at a great moment in the country. Hopefully we are capturing that moment and building on with all your support. Wonderful, welcome again, and hope we have the next 3 days of great deliberations, networking, friends, and confidence building so that we can do a lot more. Once again, welcome to all of you. Thank you for being here. Let's build this together. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your insights on the immense potential and opportunities in the field of sports science across the nation and the soft power that it wields in the international forum. Moving forward, we are pleased to introduce our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Ravneet Gill, to the august gathering. One of India's most senior and respected bankers, Mr. Ravneet Gill spent 34 years in the industry. 28 of these years were with the Deutsche Bank, and he was the Chief Country Officer and Chief Executive Officer of Deutsche Bank, India, from 2012 to 2019. From March 2019 to March 2020, Mr. Ravneet was the Managing Director and CEO of S Bank, India's 4th largest private sector bank. He is an independent director on the board of Trend Limited of the Tata Group and also sits on the advisory board of the IPL franchise Rajasthan Royals. In 2020, he founded New Horizons Alliance Private Limited, NHA, and quoting the very objective of this organization, the NHA universe has 2 worlds. One where advanced sports education is the superpower that unlocks diverse avenues for development, employability, and success. And the other creates an eco-sports ecosystem that turbocharges the playing ability and harnesses the competitive spirit to build a culture of excellence and fullest expression. Sir, Kumaraguru College of Liberal Arts and Science is honored with your presence, and we extend a warm welcome to you. May I request our President, Sri Shankar Vanavrayar, to honor our chief guest with a shawl and a memento. Thank you, sir. Moving forward, we are pleased to introduce our guest of honor, Dr. David V. Rajan, to the August gathering. Dr. Rajan is an exclusive arthroscopic surgeon and one of the earliest surgeons to promote the specialty of arthroscopy in India. Apart from arthroscopic surgery, he is actively involved in the care of sports persons and heads the faculty at Ortho 1 Orthopedic Specialty Center in Coimbatore. He has traveled extensively to several nations and has gained immense expertise and knowledge in arthroscopic surgery. He has been the president of the Indian Arthroscopic Society, the Shoulder Society of India, and Tamil Nadu Orthopedic Association. He also served as the vice president of the Indo-German Orthopedic Foundation and has been awarded honorary membership in the Arthroscopic Association of North America. Dr. Rajan has received many laurels in his career, including the Best Doctor Tamil Nadu Medical Council Award 2014 and the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Indian Medical Association and Orthopedic Society of Coimbatore in July 2014. Sir, Kumaraguru College of Liberal Arts and Science is pleased to welcome you to the conclave. May I request our respected president to honor Dr. Rajan with a memento and shawl. Thank you, sir. The School of Sports Science aims to provide a solid foundation in factors influencing sport performance, strength and conditioning, and movement analysis, empowering learners and athletes alike to critically evaluate, analyze, and apply sports science and management concepts. On behalf of the School of Sports Science, Kumaraguru College of Liberal Arts and Science, today we are inaugurating the Sports Performance Lab with multiple specialized zones, namely the Strength Zone, Assessment Zone, Cardio Zone, and Pilometric Zone, each meticulously designed to cater to the specific aspects of athletic preparation and development. May we request our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Ravneet Gill, to unveil the plaque and inaugurate the Sports Performance Lab. May we request our guest of honor, Dr. Rajan, and our president to please join us in this venture. Thank you, dignitaries. As part of our initiative, we present a short AV on the proposed new program BSc Sports Science and the School of Sports Science at Kumaraguru College of Liberal Arts and Science.
Kumaraguru College of Liberal Arts and Science is extremely delighted to announce the launch of Kumaraguru School of Sports Science. We are very excited because this is a very pioneering venture to nourish, nurture the sports talent who will excel in the global arena in multiple fields and create a lasting impact in the world of sports.
The school proposes to offer BSc Sports Science and also Several certificate courses tailored for sports enthusiasts ranging from aspiring athletes and coaches to fitness enthusiasts and healthcare professionals.
Together with our partners, we shape the champions of tomorrow, empower individuals to advance in their career, achieve their goals, and make meaningful contributions to the world of sport and human performance.
Team for showcasing us a preview of the School of Sports Science at KCLAS. Moving forward, may I invite our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Ravneet Gill, founder New Horizons Limited, to deliver the chief guest address.
President Shankar, Dr. Vijala, Dr. David Rajan, Raj, ladies and gentlemen, something just tells me that, this is a day that we will all remember with a lot of pride in terms of what this is going to achieve going forward. Sometimes you just have that feeling in your bones, and I have that feeling right now. So thank you for being here, and as I've often said to Shankar over the last couple of days, it's an absolute privilege to be able to come here to this institution which has such a rich legacy. And when I came and saw it for myself, I could also see why that is so. Shankar talked about the fact that at the end of the day, education must serve the needs of the country. And the fact of the matter really is that education is supposed to build the nation. It's supposed to build the nation's character. And one of the very important aspects of that is that the needs of the nation change with time. It changes with global changes, changes in technology, changes in demographics, change in professional trends, in educational trends, what is more contemporary, what is more relevant. And I think one of the things which Indian education has historically suffered from is a certain degree of rigidity. Don't get me wrong, I think education needs a sense of stability. It delivers results over a long period of time, but it should never get, ironclad in terms of a dogma or a certain sense of being overly protective about that domain. And everything that I've heard from Shankar over the last few days, and specifically yesterday and today, shows that, here is an institution which thinks very differently, and for a very good reason has given Coimbatore, the status of being a center of excellence in so many different fields. Talking specifically about sports science, first and foremost, my heartiest congratulations for starting the School for Sports Science. And when we talk about sports science, on the one hand, it encompasses so many different things. There is the whole element of psychology, physiology, biomechanics, nutrition, strength and conditioning. But I've always said that, why is it called sports science? This should be called the science of life. It should be called the science of success. It should be called the science of excellence. Everything that it teaches, everything that it nurtures is about fulfillment of human potential. It's about success. It's about how do each one of us become the best version of ourselves. So those of you who are actually sports scientists will be familiar with a concept called high performance. I was a banker for 3.5 decades, and international finance is as competitive a field as any. But I never heard the term high performance. And if somebody had asked me what high performance means, I would have described it in terms of a high-performing individual. But the science of high performance was something that I only got exposed to subsequently when I started to, find my feet in the field of education, specifically sports education. So my journey in this respect started in 2011. And in 2011, I went to the International Academy for Sports Science and Technology, AISTS, which had been founded by the IOC, about the possibility of bringing AISTS into the country. It was supposed to be the foremost sports education program in the world, deeply embedded in science and technology. And if you see the name AISTS, one of the S's stands for science and T stands for technology. And then in 2012, I became the CEO of Deutsche Bank, and Reserve Bank of India has a rule, for good reason, that if you are the CEO, then you can have no outside interest. So in 2011, I had to drop that dialogue with the AISTS and then revisited that in 2020 to be able to bring them here. And then I started to realize that, in some ways, specifically in India and more so for my generation, the concept of sports and education did not go hand in hand. You, as a youngster, made the choice whether you wanted to build, your future in sport, or do you want to pursue education. And the funny thing is that in all the developed nations of the world, which are all sporting superpowers, there's a concept called dual careers. The most elite athletes and people who are stakeholders of sport are also studying in the best educational institutions. So when in 2020 we started talking about sports education in this country, the question that used to get asked to me is, where have you hired the stadium where you're going to be coaching your people? And it was tough to explain to them, this is not about coaching people in sport. This is, for want of a better expression, an MBA in sport. And the education of sport and the science and the technology that go into it are almost as advanced as you find them in different fields. So when Shankar talked about computer engineering or other aspects of electronics, etc., sports science is every bit as advanced and has deeper connotations for humanity, for civilization, than sometimes we realize. So one of the things which we talk about India is that India is the youngest nation in the world, which is a fact. 50% of our population is below 23 years of age. But all that you need to look at is the medals tally when the Olympics end, and you realize that India is the only big, great nation in the world which is not a sporting superpower. Only. It's an outlier. You cannot name another big country in the world which is not a sporting superpower. So all that you need to do is look at that medals tally, and is the descending order of the world GDPs. So the general refrain in India is that one of the reasons why we have not been able to produce more champions is because we lack infrastructure. And the truth is that if you see some of the infrastructure in this country, it's just outstanding. It's just outstanding. So I don't think it's really an infrastructure issue. What we need in India is the aware athlete. We need the qualified coach. We need, and when I say qualified, I don't just mean in terms of education. We need an enlightened administrator. We need, whether it's the trainers or other people who look at facility management, to be the best in the world. So very often, in his talk, Shankar talked about developing that entire ecosystem. And sporting excellence, sustained sporting excellence, comes when your entire ecosystem is duly energized, where every single aspect of that is the best in the world. And that really is the aspiration with which he's decided, along with Dr. Vijala, to set up the School of Sports Science. And you will see the benefits of that in 5 years' time. As I mentioned, that in 5 years' time, we look back on this day and realize what an important watershed moment it was for education in India, for sport in India. So let me talk to you about why I feel that sports science is actually the science of life, the science of excellence. It's very interesting that, even when you go back to the London Olympics, athletes were at the peak in terms of performance at about 28, 29 years of age. Today, they are at their peak at 18 and 19. So through right intervention, you could breed that mentality of high performance, of excellence in people, and reduce that by almost a decade and roughly about 15 years. And then it opens up a very interesting challenge. If you think about your siblings, children, relatives, nieces, nephews who are 17, 18, 19, they're either passing out of school or they're in first year of college. They're kids. They still lack maturity. And here you have a youngster at 17, 18, 19 who's winning an Olympic gold, but in his mind is still a young adult, a child in some form. Can you imagine, balancing the two? A high-performing international champion, but at heart, a child. How do you reconcile that high physical performance with lack of mental maturity? And, each one of us, when we work for institutions, for academies, for federations, for associations, our peer group, our points of reference are just that organization. But for this person who goes out and competes internationally, the whole nation looks at you. Every time you perform, you get a lot of adulation, but every time you fail, you're brought down to earth with a thud. How difficult is it to manage those peaks and troughs? And managing those peaks and troughs is not something that you learn with practice or with time. There's a very, very clearly defined science for that. So tell me, this is an example which I give each time, and why again I will come back to the point about this being the science of life, is each one of us, when we went to school and we had our sections, how many students did you have in that section? 40, 45 maybe? And we always saw a very clear trend over there. There were 4 or 5 kids who were exceptionally bright. There were those who were bright, they were good, they were average, and then there were some who were not so good. Why in a class of 40, 45, without exception, you had only 3, 4, 5, exceptionally, I won't say gifted kids, but kids who used to perform to a very high level? And as all of you would have seen through your journeys, it's not just about IQ. Many other factors go into, your reaching, outperforming, or, reaching a level of excellence. And then again, this whole, the sports science thing comes up about how do we help you re-engineer yourself, redefine yourselves, repurpose yourselves consistently to keep outperforming. So on any given day, you can find 15 batsmen in Indian Ranji Trophy cricket who can, on a given day, bat like Virat Kohli. But you will not be able to find, anybody who can bat like Virat Kohli day in and day out. That is the science of high performance. And then I'll ask you this question, that why would you not want the benefit of that science of high performance in your lives? You could be an educator, you could be a coach, you could be a trainer, you could be a political leader, you could be an administrator, you could be an athlete. Why is it that that science is locked only to a select few, to absolutely the very elite? So when you play for a school, college, university, state, you don't get to see that. When you start to play for the country, that's the first exposure that you get. But the point is that you start to play for the country around the time that you're 17, 18, 19, it's already late. The benefit of whether it is nutrition, whether it's recovery, whether it is, strength and conditioning, those should be laid very early in life. And the starting point of that has to be able to build that level of awareness. And as I mentioned to Shankar when he first time talked about setting up the school was that, you are doing a phenomenal service. Ultimately, people, when something you want to do which is non-conventional, you need, validation. And what this institution will do is to be able to create that validation. He talked about IITs, IIMs now getting into sport. Each one of them, including he mentioned IIT Madras. The other day I was seeing that, Indore has just tied up with the Liverpool University to start a sports education program over there. Why do you think is this cross-pollination happening? Because increasingly education is realizing that the principles that drives excellence in sport, success in sport, can be transposed into other walks of life. If you can create a high-performing athlete, you can certainly create a very successful professional. We talk about the fact that, we are a very competitive country. What is the purpose of competition? The purpose of competition is that eventually it distills everything and leads to excellence. The truth is, if you look at sport in India, lots of people play sport, but we do not generate excellence. So is the space competitive or is the space in India crowded? I think it's crowded. It's not competitive, because if it was competitive, we would have had a lot more world champions. But the ability to be able to convert a crowded space into a competitive space, you will need this education. It is absolutely imperative. It's not something that will just come by virtue of watching others or trying to learn as you go along. It will need very sustained the focus and the rigor of this education. So once again, I cannot thank you enough for starting this. It'll be a model for many other universities to emulate, and I don't think we can get enough. The final point that I'd like to make for you is the point that everybody says India has 1.4 billion people, and we win one Olympic gold medal. It's not true. It's not as if 1.4 billion Indians play. Only 6% of Indians play on a regular basis. Only 6%. So that should be your frame of reference, not 1.4 billion people. How do we get more Indians playing? And the truth of the matter is that even if you have a very talented bunch of, small pool of people, it does not result in, sustained excellence. The history of sport shows that the more people play, the bigger your, gene pool, the more are the chances that you will go on to succeed. So just that thing about being naturally gifted, you have a handful and they will, win laurels for you, will not happen. And that's where the whole debate between nature, which is your inborn talent, capability, ability, vis-a-vis nurture, which is the education piece in terms of polishing that talent, becomes so very vital. So this education, to my mind, will be transformative for the country, not just in terms of what it will do for the sporting ecosystem in this country, but also how we measure success. How do we see success? And that success does not only need to be academic success for it to get the respect, the reward, and the recognition that typically comes on the back of that. I also feel that it would be incomplete for me not to mention the whole paradigm of esports. And generally speaking, people look at esports and gaming in the same way, in the same breath. But the truth is it's not. I mean, gaming has three typical elements to it. There's real money gaming, there is fantasy sport, and then there is esport, which is the competitive element of gaming. And the truth is that, my generation, the generation after me, can scoff at gaming, but it is the single biggest cultural megatrend of all times. 650 million Indians are gamers. To say it's digital addiction, too much screen time, is being dismissive without understanding what that phenomena means. It's also, given how immersive it is, what a big hook it is, it can also be a big platform for learning. It can be a big platform for building skills. And I'll end by giving you a small example of that. In Chennai, there was a young tennis player who was India's actually #1 player in the under-19 category. A very talented player. Everybody thought he'll go places. And then he was also an engineer. And then he got a scholarship to the Hopman University Academy to go and polish his tennis. But his mind then moved on. He got very interested in science. And then he went on to develop a small game, which kids play for 20 minutes over a week, and which, while you're playing, implicitly leads to flow of blood into different parts of your brain in certain quantities at certain gaps, which result in a lot of health literacy. Whether it's in terms of physical education, physical exercise, whether it's in terms of better eating habits, and then the combination of two results in greater immunity, which also keeps you away from COVID. And now they're doing the clinical trials for diabetes. Could you ever think of gaming being a vaccination? And of course, it's called the digital vaccine. And interestingly, this is the first digital vaccine that was ever patented by, given a patent by the US Department of Trademarks and Patents. Happened in India, happened by an Indian, very close to you. So all I'm saying is also that, learn to embrace, just like you're embracing new technologies, social media, content creation, etc. We should be a little more open-minded, a little more receptive, a little more accepting of streams of education learning, which may not be what we grew up with. Because this world is changing, in a very, very powerful way, in a very quick way, in a very all-encompassing way. And one of the ways to build a really strong, successful, happy, healthy nation is to also be very inclusive in our overall approach. So Shankar talked about being a thought leader. Shankar, above everything else, you're a thought leader. And again, I'm saying this not because, we are in this gathering and it's this occasion and the fact that, we're sitting in this institution. But this thought leadership will permeate very quickly. So thank you for giving it the legitimacy, the respect, the recognition that something like sports science deserves. But the final thought that I would leave with each one of you, especially those who are not in the field of sports science, is that this is something which will become absolutely important, vital for a very young country like India, where we can be a little, we come in with a certain degree of predilection about how we measure success, what are the things that we really respect in people. So I think that in 10 years' time, you will see a very different India with regard to our athletic performance, our performance in sport. We see that in cricket, but you will see that happen increasingly in other sports as well. And nothing will contribute more to it than will, the whole sports education piece and the whole sports science piece. So thank you very much for listening so patiently. Thank you, Shankar. Thank you, Dr. Vijaya, for inviting me here. It definitely, represents a watershed moment for me, and I'm not saying it for effect. I really do feel very overwhelmed to be, speaking with each one of you. He mentioned the fact that, Coimbatore is a center for excellence, and that's a fact. You can look at mechanical engineering, you look at machining, you can look at Mysore Park, the best in the world in all respects. And I just feel that this will further refresh the leadership position that Coimbatore has. It'll, also in some ways revitalize the youthful spirit of the city. So my heartiest congratulations, wishing you every success. And I'm sure that in 5 years' time, we will see some stunning results. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
So we express our sincere gratitude on behalf of Kumaraguru for impressing us upon the need to develop a holistic ecosystem leading to sporting excellence. Moving forward, I invite Dr. David V. Rajan, arthroscopic surgeon and founder, Artho1 Orthopedic Specialty Center, Coimbatore, to offer his felicitations.
Thank you. Sri Shankar Vanavaraya, Mr. Gill, Dr. Vijaya Kennedy, Raj, students, faculties who come for this meeting. I'm grateful to stand before you and talk to you for about 10 minutes only. And I recognize the first 2 rows or 3 rows. And each and every one of you I know have brought up and nurtured excellent athletes for India. You have written papers, you have written books. Just to recognize a few, where's Rakshaji? Rakshaji and so many I used, yeah, okay. And my friend Undi is there, and Yuvraj, and so many of you, real experts. I would like to recognize you all for having come for this meeting. I have only known about you, and now I'm seeing you all. I would like to meet each and every one of you. Thanks to the institution for bringing them together. Thank you. It's a great privilege to participate in this conclave. Not only sports sciences, which engulfs sports medicine also sports psychology. I used to have a good friend by name Alka Biotra. She's not here? Sports psychologist of IASM? No? Okay. To mark the starting of the BSc in Sports Sciences in this prestigious College of Kumaraguru, which has got a great legacy and a lot of noble people behind this institution, it is my real privilege and gratitude. Thank you. BSc in Sports Science is probably first of its kind in this region. There's a great need for such courses in India. And we are into sports care of the athletes, and we go around giving talks about prevention, sports injuries, and all that. And we've been trying to recruit a sports manager for the last 2-3 months. I was telling Vijaya, And we couldn't get anybody. And it's an excellent course, BSc course. And please, I congratulate you on this kind of thought, and please keep it up. And a great success is waiting for you. Sports is very close to my heart. In '85, I started sports medicine in a small way in Coimbatore. There used to be one gentleman by name Venkatakrishnan, basketball, some of you may know. And he used to bring sports people to me and say, Doc, this guy cannot play any longer. His knee ligament is gone. So I was scratching my head because I was in UK and never been exposed. So I went to France and other places, started doing some surgeries which helped these boys to get back to games. And that is the beginning of a sports medicine career. At that time, for sports medicine, like Dr. Nathan, what he's doing, there was no demand. Now there is demand. Now there is demand. People recognize sports medicine, non-surgical sports medicine being recognized. Science is recognized. Excellent. Very good. Congratulations, India. Sports is microcosm of life. Sports is everything. I would like to differ a few things with Mr. Gill because we have 1.4 billion athletes in our country. 1.4 billion. They have to cross the road. They have to run a bit. Otherwise, the auto rickshaw man will thrash you. We get so many injuries. Elderly people, fracture of femur, whatever. Days silent, another point, and the auto it shoot. You know, the auto rickshaw just brushes them off, and you have to run. Payments. Have you ever tried walking in the payments? I don't know. And very, very dangerous for people who are like me, above 60. Very different. So each and every one of us are athletes in India. Each and every one, 1.4 billion people need sports science. 1.4 billion people need sports medicine. Excellent. Thank you for starting this. There is a great difference between sports medicine, sports science then, I'm talking about 80s, 90s, and now. Just a few examples I'll give you. In 70s, I wanted to become before college, I wanted to become a professional hockey player. That was my ambition. You know, all the people from our place, they all want to play hockey. And I wanted to become, my father said, go to the college. Is that going to fetch you money? Are you going to eat with sports? No, get in. So that was said. In the early 90s, I remember my mother was 80 plus, was living with us. Sometimes we both watch television together. And she was watch some sports also. In the commercials, you know, Michael Jordan or somebody, you know, Adidas, he with his big shoes, he runs across and dunks the ball. And that advertisement used to come on and off and on and off. Then one day she asked me, this man is playing all the time. How will he eat? Where will he get the money from? That was a concept then. What is it now? You're starting a PhD in sports science. Excellent. Very good. That's a need. Let them get a job. Let it be a hands-on so that they are somebody when they finish there. I'm very proud in a way. I'm talking about when my father, mother. I'm very proud because I have two sons. They both have made mark in Indian motorsports. Unfortunately, they could not go any further because of lack of funds. All this is changing now. There is money in every sports. There are a lot of sponsors if you are good. I see a lot of parents wanting their children to become professional sports persons. Recently, I met a young girl, 5'3", from Tirupur area, and very well dressed, and the father wearing dhoti, and having a simple knee problem. All she needed was exercise. So I asked her, what are you doing? Sir, I'm in Australia. What are you doing in Australia? I'm in a university trying to become a world-class tennis player. 5.3, tennis player. They need a lot of guidance. It is not there. And there has been big change because of the mega bucks available in sports, the TV accessibility, and they sometimes find it difficult to choose. And all this sports science will change, I'm sure. Gone are the days when tennis or any other game, shuttle badminton, for example, was a gentle game, gentleman's game. Just plays it and go on rallying, rally. It's not so now. You got to be so agile, and you got to be so very versatile, and got to be fit. And people like, you people will make them fitter, stronger, and the performance you people will improve, increase. I'm very grateful to you people who have taken up sports science or sports medicine, I would call it. Thank you. So a long time back, Stefan Edberg came for another meeting, and he said he had never had any injury. This is very rare. In those days, just, at the most you go to the net and get a drop ball. Don't even run and don't even dive and all that. That's different. Prakash Padukone, one of the meetings, she said, early days, he had won All England. He said, we never knew anything about stretching. We never knew anything about fitness, nothing. And we just played sheer talent. And the Danish players in the international game, they run, they do this, that. We look at them and stretch. We also run. That's all we could do. Time has changed, thanks to you people. And you have come in sports science and do it. Thanks to Kumaraguru. You're going ahead with sports science. Excellent. And some of you must have read about Nirupama, our own daughter of the soil. Nirupama, tennis player. He reached within 100 of Wimbledon female tennis players. Who helped her? Nobody. Who coached her? Hardly anybody. Her father coached her. So what I'm saying to tell you is, if we have plenty of talent, you will have to identify, bring them up. You will have to help them to become world class. All the best. So now, why all this sports science? Why all this? For the youngsters at the back, I'm saying, you're all pundits. Why all this sports science? Why all this sports medicine? There's a big overlap between sports medicine and sports science. You can't separate it. Okay, there's a lot of. So the athlete is right in the middle. All around is the top is the parents. Parents have to help. Parents have to identify the talent and take them to the right coach. Then you have the coaches and the biomechanical experts, the psychologists, the nutrition specialist, the high performance specialist, biomechanical experts, performance analyzer, and optimists. All these people put together develop an athlete. Prevent injury. In case of injury, treat. That's where the sports medicine doctor comes. All these people are necessary for bringing up a sports athlete of world class at the moment, 2024. So all your effort is very important. For this, the coach and the physios are also really very, very important. Only then the present day competition athletes can shine. There are a lot of misconception about sports medicine. Who is a sports medicine expert? Anybody at the back? Can you tell me? And the students? Interaction allowed? Yes. Well, you think it's a doctor. No, it's not a doctor. Anybody can be a sports medicine specialist. The parents especially, some of the parents whom we meet are very knowledgeable. They've done a lot of research to know exactly what they should do for the ward of the athlete or the children. You know the Cuba country, who's a sports medicine specialist? Dentist. Because most of their athletes are boxers. They break the jawbone, they break the teeth. So dentists go. And coaches have to know everything about sports medicine to some extent. And the physios are really good, and they also should know everything about sports medicine. there is a misconception that sports medicine is orthopedics. No, it's not. I would like to talk to you about prehab, rehab. That's a prehab. Prehab word is before the athlete gets injured or pain, you do the proper exercise, proper stretching, proper analysis, and prevent the injury, prevent the forthcoming pain. There will be no downside, there will be no break in the career, and that is prehab. For this, stretching and other exercises are very important. I'm sure the senior people will know, in early 2000, or even before that, our cricketers were just hanging around in the field, very lethargic. No, agility wasn't there, and they saw the Australians and South Africans, then they start becoming agile. All guys will stand around, and if you see the Australian or South African, they are stretching all the time. They are stretching the posterior capsule, and they are stretching the inferior capsule. They won't stand just like that. Only now, recently, you see all cricketers also doing the same thing on field. I'm sure it's a great development. Usage of high-tech missions like isokinetic missions, we have. Your students are welcome to participate with us in using them and doing research and that kind of a thing to check the weak muscles. Some of you may think, very light of sports medicine, and the pundits know. Sometimes the athlete may have a pain in the knee. You examine the athlete properly. He has glute weakness, the buttocks muscles weakness. You correct that, they are back in the game. And similarly, tightness. There's a muscle called piriformis in the hip area. Very small little muscle, 3 muscles sticking out there. And they are tight, they can't perform. The physio can identify, sports medicine doctor can identify, and correct them, they are back. So this is sports medicine. It's not surgery or anything like that. Because 90% of sports medicine is stretching, finding out the correct diagnosis, and putting the athlete back in the field. Video analyzing, I'm sure Dr. Shaji does, I think, and so many others are doing. Video analyzing, how many of you play football? At least for this, please put your hand up. Let there be some interaction. Excellent, thank you. Thank you very much. 2, thank you. And do you know when they started giving a red card for tackling from the back? Okay, a couple of World Cup before. See, the ACL injury, I'm sure you're all familiar with. The ACL gets injured, ruptured, on and off. And FIFA is spending a lot of money on research. And they have a medical body. Some Swedish sports medicine doctors kept on playing the video sequence of the ACL injury athletes. And they found that every time it was a tackle from the back which led to ACL injury. Then they went to FIFA. FIFA doctor, everybody sat together and said, okay, that's wrong. And then they decided a red card for tackling from the back. So the sports medicine, sports science doesn't stop with fitness. You can contribute a lot towards betterment of the sports. Finally, about sports medicine, 90% of preventable. 90% are preventable. The remaining 10 may need little treatment, or that only 1% need surgery. There are a lot of misconception. Very rarely the athlete need conception, they need the surgery, and arthroscopic surgery is the norm. No open surgery. I know of some coaches who tell the awards and students, don't let a doctor put your knife on the knee. Wrong. You are talking about you're 30, 40 years behind. We don't open. We do only arthroscopic. They put them back in the right place. Very often, I'm not talking about all coaches, but some coaches, and don't let the child or the athlete come to the doctor. The right doctor is very important. They don't let them come to the doctor. Don't go. I will make you all right. Do exercise, physiotherapy. No, when you cannot identify what is wrong. There's nothing wrong in sending the athlete to the doctor and getting it checked. Finally, we are very happy, we'll be happy to collaborate with your prestigious institute for your sports science students. We have collaboration with the ABTP, Abhinav Bindra Target Foundation. We have a lot of isokinetic missions now. And you can teach, we can learn from your students and the teachers. And post your students with us, we'll be happy. They can accompany us when we go for tournaments along with the doctors and see what exactly is happening at the first hand. We publish a lot of papers on sports medicine. Together, we can do a lot. And your end of it, your students will have some paper behind the career. So together, we can improve the standard of sports in our part of the country, prevent injuries, prehab, I'm not talking about rehab, prehab, and excel, make sure the athletes around this area excel in sports. So they can also develop apps. There's a lot of rehab apps. So many apps are coming up. So before I end, on June 16th of this year, we have a one-day symposium on athletic knee, from A to Z, athletic knee. A lot of good talks and performance, a lot of hands-on will be there, and you're welcome to come and attend that hands-on course. So with this, I end, and the best wishes to you all for the new course, and I'm sure a lot of students will join and benefit from it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor, for sharing your insights on sports medicine in India and across the globe, and the significance of sports science for the present times and the future ahead. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. I invite Mr. Raj Mohan Satyan, Associate Dean, School of Sports Science, Kumaraguru College of Liberal Arts and Science, to propose the vote of thanks.
Very good morning to everyone gathered here. First of all, I would like to thank Sri Shankar Banavraya sir to making us part of, be a part of his vision. Thank you so much, sir. Second, I would like to thank our chief guest, Sri Ravneet Gill. Thank you, sir. Thank you for accepting and coming here. Thank you so much. And we'd like to thank our special guest, Dr. David Rajan, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And our principal, Vigila Edwin Kennedy ma'am, thank you so much for coming. And we would like to thank our partners for the conclave. We have a Sports Psychology Association of India, our partners. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for partnering for the conclave. And we would like to thank you all. Thank you all for making it a special day. And we would like to start the sessions from here. And thank you for gathering here. Have a nice day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Raj Mohan. Now is the time to draw the curtains of the inauguration. Without much ado, we move forward with the technical sessions.
We are pleased to invite Mr. Himanshu Bishnoi, founder, the Athletes Lab, Gurugram, and Strength and Conditioning Coach, Table Tennis Federation of India, to lead the technical session. Joining him in the technical discussion on maximizing human performance, we have Dr. Saju Joseph, former High Performance Director, Sports Authority of India. He earlier served National Institute of Malaysia in the capacity of sports scientist. We are pleased to also welcome Mr. Yuvraj Ramaswamy, sports biomechanist from National Sports Institute.